so much for joining me again today for another video for my Project Live Monday video series. So for today I've got week 30 for you. I'm going to mainly using the Calico's documentary kit called Film Club from April 2016 and also a bunch of Elliotwood's products and the Hip Kit Club's scrapbook kit from August and July as well. So what you saw me doing just then was I picked out some number stickers which are from the Calico kit. It's not actually from the Film Club kit, it's an older one. I've just got some left in my stash, but you can use any number stickers, that would be fine. So I just marked out hash 30 the hashtag 30 and also some dates there as well, just using my roller date stamp as well as the ink pad, the VersaFine black ink. And I also picked out this kind of flag, which is a rubber flag, which is from the Elliotwood's Drive Story kit. And in the kit you get a bunch of tags, which I think they're really cool, and yeah, so I just put that in, and it says vacation just mainly because this is the first week of our vacation in Japan, so I thought it was kind of fitting. And I essentially talked about, what did I say? So I said we headed to Japan at the end of this week, first time ever, and the food was great, and look at the photo of the vending machine, so that's kind of cool. And so I also stuck down that piece of chipboard, which I believe is actually from the first story kit. It's an old one. I bought it when it was on sale a few months ago. And yeah, so I stuck it down and also wrote directly onto that photo using my VersaFine, my Sharpie black pen. Now, the next thing I'm doing here is I'm just measuring out a piece of white cardstock just to go at the bottom of this photo. It's a photo of the coffee shop. It's like a hole-in-the-wall coffee shop that we went to in Japan. And so I decided to use a piece of die cut, which is from the July scrapbook kit from the Hip Kit Club. And it says wonderful. And it essentially just said awesome coffee. And I just put that back in there, and now I'm working on the photo on the, what am I doing? I decided to not do anything on the photo of that top left, in the top left corner there, but instead I am going to be working on that 3x4 spot there on the right. And so what I'm planning to do is to kind of customize my 3x4 journaling card by using a piece of white cardstock, as well as I'm going to cut up that 3x4 journaling card, which is from the Calico documentary kit. And I've also picked out this stamp set, which is from Elliotwood's Go, I think it's called Go Stamp Story Stamp. And I'm just kind of tripping off the bottom part of the 3x4 journaling card there, which I got from Becky Higgins' Project Live. So I got them in a pack, and I think you get like 100 of them. And so yeah, I just chop them up, and I didn't want it to be, I didn't want the corners to be rounded, so that's why I trimmed off the corners there. And now I am heat embossing I'm so sorry with the camera going a little bit blurry there. Not really sure what's going on. But what I'm doing here is I'm just embossing that stamp. So I stamped the word adventure, which is from the Go Story stamp from Elliotwood's. And then I used the Versa Mark ink with the silver embossing powder from American Crafts. And then I just heat it up using my heat gun. And that is essentially it. And then I'm just going to be adding some journaling down underneath there. And what did I say? So I essentially talked about the photo just above that journaling spot, and essentially said that was our first meal in Japan, and it was in Harajuku, and we had some gyoza, which is kind of like dumplings essentially, and that was really nice. And we also had some cucumber salad with miso sauce, and it was delicious. And now I'm kind of, I was interested in kind of adding something onto that top right photo there, but I decided against it once again. It didn't have an area where I felt like I could cover up any spot. You know, if I cover up with anything, it would just, I felt like I'm losing, you know, the information that I want to keep, like, you know, the memory. So I thought, I'll just leave it as is, and that's absolutely fine. And so now I'm working on the bottom right photo there, and I decided to trim off just a portion of a 4x6 journaling card, which is, I got unpacked once again from Project Live, Becky Higgins Project Live. And so, and I just cut it off and stuck it to the side of that photo. And also I adhered a piece of chipboard there which says, "Let's go," and that one is actually from the Drive story kit, which is the current story kit. I believe it's still available, just in case you're interested in getting. I also did a video comparing the Hollywood story kit / stamp with the Studio Calico documenter kit. I'll link it down below, just in case some of you might be interested in, you know, subscribing or anything like that. And now I'm thinking I want to add something to this photo, and I felt like, you know, there's a bit of, you know, area where I could cover up with some, you know, white cardstock down the bottom there. So I started just with this strip of white cardstock, and I stamped it using the Drive story stamp, but I just kind of decided against it, just mainly because I felt like it needed a little bit more. It needed a longer strip of cardstock, so I decided to cut up another piece of white cardstock, which is, you know, from a 4x6 journaling card. And I also picked out this die cut piece, which is from Amy Tangerine's, I believe it's from the Better Together collection. And so I just picked that out, and I stored all, you know, those embellishments, those die cut pieces, usually in one of those Project Live trays, which, you know, those plastic trays that come with your Project Live kits. So, and yeah, so I just picked that out. Just in case some of you who might not know, I also have another video which shows how I store those embellishments, and I'll just link it down below as well. And now moving on to the right side of the spread. Okay, so what I'm planning to do here is, I see there's a bit of kind of space which I'm happy to cover up just down at the bottom left there. So I am planning to use this massive stamp, which is from the Drive Story stamp set, and using some vellum as a background piece. Sorry, my hair is going covering it up there. So I am stamping on a piece of vellum, and it didn't actually go that, you know, it didn't you know, didn't have a full coverage, just move it that way. And so I decided to stamp it once again on just on another side there, and I'm happy with that one. I'm using the Stays On black ink, and now I'm just cleaning up my stamp. I usually, for the VersaFine black ink or most other ink, I usually just use my baby wipes to clean up the ink. But sometimes with the Stays On black ink, it's it's, you know, quite difficult to get it off using my baby wipes. So I decided sometimes I use the, you know, Stays On spray cleaner bottle thing, solution thing, which works really well. I know that, I mean, I've heard that it might not be that good for your stamp, but to be honest, I like my stamp quite clean. So now I you know, trim that up, you know, into a, you know, rectangular piece there, and then I just did some journaling. And I also adhere that down using the tiny attacher. And the reason I use a tiny attacher there is mainly because it's a piece of vellum, and it's kind of hard to using normal glue, and that's why I did that. And now I'm just using that strip of white cardstock which I stamped earlier, the word go, from the Drive Story stamp. And so I'm just reusing that. I, drew a kind of a square around that piece there, and also did some journaling. I rounded one of the top left corner there, just to add a little bit of interest. And now I'm just colouring in the word go, that stamp there. So I drew a square around it, and then I just, add some, silver kind of inking around it. So, and I use, I think it's Signo Ball Silver. That was a colour, and it's a brand is, I think, Uni Ball, actually Uni Signo Ball. I think that sounds right. So now I'm moving on to working on that 3x4 journaling spot, that pocket there on the middle left. I am kind of going through a bunch of embellishments, thinking about how I want to do this. And I'm going through, so this is the die cut pieces from Amy Tangerine's Oh Happy Life line. I wasn't happy with any of the die cut pieces, so I decided to create my own journaling card there. And so I cut a strip of a strip of pattern paper, which is from the Oh Happy Life line, which I got from the Hip Kit Club's August scrapbook kit. And that pattern paper is actually called Oh Happy Life, as well as the line itself called Oh Happy Life, I think. Yeah. No, actually, I think the pattern paper itself is actually called Happy. I think that's right. Okay, so I cut that up, and then I add to the bottom. And I also have this piece of cork here, which is from I think it's from the Stuff Story kit. So I trim, so it comes in a big piece of cork. It's like a speech bubble. It's quite big, but I trimmed that. I cut it in a strip there. And then I also added this piece of die cut, which is from the die cut pack, which is from the Hip Kit Club's July scrapbook kit. And now I'm just adding some journaling directly onto that card there. And as you can see there, I'm using two pens. So one which is the number 03 and the other one number 08. Just to add a bit of interest, to be honest. I've done this a couple times before. Just but for some of you are new, I actually got this idea from Ali Edwards. And I like it mainly because it adds a bit of interest. As you can see there, you can see some of them, some of the text is a bit bolded, I guess, and it's it looks like it has kind of dimension onto it, adds a bit of dimension onto the page. And now I'm adding some journaling directly onto that photo there, just along the line of that table. And I'm also going to be adding a piece of chipboard, which is from the Drive Story kit as well, just the word go. And that is essentially it for that photo. And with this photo of the lunch we had at Disneyland, so we went to Disneyland when we were in Tokyo, and so we had, I think it was like pork curry for lunch at the restaurant there. So I just added, what we had essentially, some journaling directly onto the photo using my Sharpie pen. And I was thinking about how I want to add some journaling onto this photo here. So we were watching the parade, so in the afternoon at Disneyland, and I wasn't really happy with using that strip of that paper, just mainly because I felt like it was covering too much off the photo. So I decided to use this stamp, which is from the Drive Story stamp, essentially like a flag. And so I stamped that 3 times on a piece of white cardstock using my VersaFine black ink. And I'm going to be using another stamp which says Let's Go, also from the Drive Story stamp. Now unfortunately my camera cut off, and so you're not going to actually see the rest of the process. But there's only 2 spots that you miss out here, which is the bottom right photos you can see here, and I use a die cut piece from the Hip Kit Club's July 2016 scrapbook kit, and so I stuck that down and did some journaling, and also that journaling spot in the middle right there, as you can see, that says "Here We Go," and that one is from the Go Story Kit from Ali Edwards. Sorry, from the Drive Story Kit from Ali Edwards. Here's some close up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I have to apologize once again for the camera cutting off at the end. And if you enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up so I know that you liked it. And if you want YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out, please subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See ya! Bye!